What are your thoughts on just AI looking out the next 3, 4, 5 years, how that will impact the role of financial advisors? And if you were a financial advisor, how you would be thinking about that? Because I'm going to guess it goes a little bit down the path of connection and relationships and behavior. So I'd just love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, 1,000%. And, as a business owner, probably the best thing that could have happened to me is ChatGPT,
Mm.
because it is going to wipe the floor with advice firms that are just doing commoditized services. We're all in the same boat. I mean, this thing's only a few months old, right? Yeah, I mean, we could trace AI back to the mid to late 40s, and there's a whole long, interesting story, I suppose. But this didn't really become real for almost anybody until these easily accessible free engines like ChatGPT or Bard or Bing or whatever were at our fingertips. And like you, I've used them a fair bit, and I'm just sort of blown away. I mean, you have a conversation, we're both curious people, want to figure out some stuff about the world, like type it in, get going, have a
Hmm.
conversation, learn how to prompt better and better, and you get better and better answers. And, my friends who are, 100x tech savvier than I am, their ability to put data and images and PDFs and spreadsheets into ChatGPT version 4 and spit out unbelievably sophisticated answers to complex questions, it's literally mind-blowing. I mean, this, I think, is a revolution on the order of the invention of the internet. And it speaks specifically to this question of what does it mean to be a human being, which, again, big philosophical question, frankly, my favorite types of questions. It's one we've been grappling with since the dawn of civilization. I don't think it's ever been harder to come up with a succinct, comfortable answer to the question. Just going back a little bit, the advent of social media has us questioning our empathy and our tribal loyalties. We're a bunch of jerks to each other, to be honest. The
Hmm.
pandemic has called into question our mortality. I mean, we had a legit biblical plague that swept across the world, feels like last month. And now AI is questioning our relevance. I mean, I grew up in Pittsburgh. You grew up where you did. We saw what happened to manual labor in our hometowns and what robots can do to replace that. Well, fancy guys like us, it's like, okay, well, that's not me. Well, guess what, knowledge worker? Now it's your turn to maybe confront someone outsourcing you to replacing you. Specifically in the context of financial advice, there is so much from an investment management point of view, from a client communication point of view, from a back-end operations and accounting point of view that can be outsourced to this sort of engine. Now, it's all details, right? So there's a lot to sort out. I don't know, because of the firms we work with, I'd say 100% of them are thinking about, not 99.9, 100% of them have task forces thinking about how they can use AI to better serve clients, better increase profitability, better compete, and more scary, just how to survive. Where I sit specifically running a learning platform focused on providing human-centric advice, that was our tagline a year ago. Now we've got something challenging, this whole idea of what it means to be human. I kind of like the fact that we're working with real people on emotional intelligence, on cognitive psychology, on the true sources of happiness in life. I actually do believe that these engines can be trained to be empathetic voices. I've experienced it on ChatGPT. I've experienced it on Bing. It's like, wait, am I talking to a person? Because it sure as hell feels like one. And so that is all creeping into our daily lives. I think it's going to be super impactful. No, predicting the future isn't my thing. It's impossible, but I am making a bet, and the bet is that it's going to change our industry structurally, and we should figure out, well, what is it that we can do that the robots can't do, and let's focus on that. The more that this comes into fruition, the more from the demand side, not just us saying, well, what do I want to put in the world as an advisor, but as the consumer, the individual investor, them saying, wait, I'm going to go work with some dude and pay him 1% and then pay another 1% for, investments. I got this whole other thing, and maybe it's in 2026 or 2029, but those aren't that long from now. ChatGPT, as we, sit here in June of 2023, it's like what, 5 months old? Maybe it's 7. I don't know. It's less than a year, and it seems to be accelerating.
Well,
So anyway,
yeah.
I'm on a little bit of a soapbox because I have thought about this a lot. I've had tons of conversations about this. We're actually folding in conversations about it into our coaching programs because we want to give advisors a platform to think out loud about what's happening. I think it's a game changer. Capital G, capital C, game changer.